Hello, Farah. Thank you for joining Open. Thank you for being here. I see that you had a really good panel discussion, and that was very inspiring. I just have a few questions before we start off. What do you like about Open? Like, what is the thing that you would like to, pinpoint about Open by being here?
Yeah, I think it's really just about the networking aspect of it. You get to meet a lot of people from a lot of industries. So I have my network, but I've been in tech all my life. I was at Microsoft and eBay, now at EA.
Nice.
So it's mainly tech people. So here you get to meet people from healthcare, people who are doing their own startups. You meet VCs, you meet advisors, and then you also meet a lot of this Pakistani diaspora that is here or based in Pakistan that are looking at really new, innovative things. So it's a great way to keep up and a great way to just network.
Sounds good. I'm going to lean towards my next question. That tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you end up being into this position where you are at right now? Your challenges that you had been through. So yeah, just put some highlights on that.
Yeah, it's a very long answer, so I'll have to be brief.
Yeah.
So I'm currently a VP of Engineering at Electronic Arts. I grew up in Pakistan, so I'm from Karachi. My parents are from Lahore and Kasur. Moved there for work. I did all my schooling in Karachi. I went to the city school for O-levels and Lyceum, if anybody knows, for A-levels. I did a couple of years in LUMS and then transferred out. Came here, got married, and I was at Microsoft right out of college, so I had my first job there. Microsoft is a huge organization, and so the great thing about it is that you can move between different teams and almost have a whole different experience, like in a different company. So I got to really build my foundation, really grow my social skills, grow kind of my well-roundedness, not just tech, but how do you actually operate in a business context. I was in search when I left, so I really got to learn a lot about machine learning and its real-world application in search. And I was able to transition that knowledge into eBay. So I got this really great opportunity to start the office, the Seattle office. I was like employee number 5. We grew it to about 250, 300 people, and I was a big part of that. So, I really got to do, exercise that muscle of strategy and growth, which was really interesting to me. And then also use kind of my machine learning knowledge to sort of say, okay, what are some things we can use with ML in this context, and shipping and estimation and things like that. And EA, I would have been there 4 years this year. Again, it's gaming is a great domain. And so just the fact that I was able to kind of transfer my tech knowledge from developer tools, search, e-commerce, and now gaming. I think that's really the part that keeps me learning and growing, because I'm entering into a new domain. I don't understand the business, I don't understand that domain, but I get the tech. So it really helps me grow as a person too.
Right, and that kind of forcing me to ask you this question: that how do you find yourself, moving into from like all two different domains? What made you feel that I need to jump? Like, was there something that you like just clicked you, or you kind of like find yourself go through the through the flow like that?
That's a good question. I think I'm a fundamentally not okay with status quo person, so which can make me a not very happy person sometimes. But I think what it does for me is that I'm always just kind of curious and looking to the next thing.
Right.
I think kind of the interesting turning points, where if I look at it in retrospect, the first time I moved jobs is when I had my first kid. So I have 2 daughters, 9 and 4. And when I had Maya, after that, I think I was just looking for a change, and that's when I made the shift to eBay. I had Sophia in 2014. And I think when I came back after that, I was like, maybe you have this little break and you have some perspective to think about things that are bigger than what you've been doing day to day.
Okay.
And you just feel like, okay, I've made that impact. I've kind of done what I wanted to do. Where can I go and make that next impact? But also not just keep repeating the same thing, right? Like, where's the growth for me? So I think that whole staying curious and wanting to keep learning is what makes me want to take a risk with like a new domain or like a new company that I don't know anybody at. And a little bit of that drive to want to prove myself, to myself and to others, can I do this? So
makes sense. And you just mentioned that you've got 2 kids, your 2 cute daughters. My next question would be, how do you, being a woman, in this area in technology, there are fast speed of everything. It's so competitive market. How do you feel yourself comfortable and by being a mother and running with the technology, running with everybody? How did you how do you manage it? How do you manage it?
I think I have a very good partner, right? So I think parenting is hard, and I think he has to make the time for it just as much as I have to. And because he's just as dedicated a dad as I am a mom, and he's really there with me through it. Like, so I'm here this week because I had some other work stuff and this, and we had a little emergency where my little one got hurt, and so she had to get stitches, and he had to take off work, take her, and all of that, and the fact that I'm at peace of mind that I have somebody who's got my back, who's got our kids' best interest at heart.
So the key point is have a good husband.
Really, have a great partner, and I think have people that you can rely on, get help where you can. I mean, I'm lucky. Not everybody is privileged enough to afford help, but when I can't do pickups when I'm not there, I have somebody to help me with pickups. So, I think the balance is you have to find your own balance. Every family has their own chaos, and they have to make that work.
Last question about the interview is any advice that you would like to give to the younger women, girls to get into this technology maybe, or whatever fields they are in? What would be the piece of advice that would you like to give?
I think one thing that I see a lot is I feel like a lot of the men that I work with or that I grew up with or went to school with, they have all this confidence, right? Like they have all of this belief in themselves without having achieved it. And I think women, even after they achieve stuff, don't have that same level of bravado or confidence. So I think just, believe in yourself, put yourself out there. Don't be afraid of just voicing your opinion and showing up in all your kind of authentic self. Just kind of be really present and be confident. I think it's hard. I think there's a lot of cultural barriers to it. I think there's a lot of sort of, things growing up in Pakistan. It's very different messages you get. So there's a lot of work we as society have to do, but I feel like why I'm here and why some of the work that I do with Pakistani women in computing is that I want to, show up so people can see it, right? And I think that if you can see it, you can be it, right? I'm a very ordinary person. I had a very ordinary life. Same journey as a lot of other people. So, if I can become a vice president of engineering, anybody can do it, sort of, right? So just have that belief and work hard for it. Don't think that it's going to fall in your lap. There's a lot of hard work involved no matter what you do.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's an amazing advice. Okay, with that, I'm just going to stop asking you serious questions, and then let's move towards the quick speed dating questions. All right, are you ready?
All right. Yeah. I'm afraid.
No. Cricket or football?
Cricket.
Pepsi, Coke?
Coke.
Burger or biryani?
Biryani.
Seattle or Karachi?
Both.
Okay, that's about it. Thank you, Farah. Thank you so much for coming here.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.